welcome to WeSeeDC. I'm Mason Rothman.
And I'm Adam Simmons.
WeSeeDC is a weekly podcast showcasing technology events around the world with a focus on the DC Metro Beltway area.
And for our first episode, what we're going to do is actually head over to the Apple Store and film a comparison between the iPhone and the iPad, and some of the capabilities you might see in it, some of the applications you might be able to use, and once again, just some of the pros and cons you might be able to see in if you're actually thinking about one or both of these little devices.
And since it's an Apple device, it'll mostly be pros.
We'll see about that.
Hey, how are you doing? This is Mason Rothman, and we're here at the Apple Store in Reston, and we're going to go ahead and show you a comparison between the iPhone and the iPad. So, I hope you know which one's which at this point. If you don't, this is the iPhone and this is the iPad. But we're going to go ahead and go through the differences and the things I like and don't like about it. So on the left here is my iPhone. It's jailbroken. Heck, really, I shouldn't even legally be allowed to have this in the Apple Store right now. But it's the jailbroken version, and it's got a lot of really cool things like background tasking and whatnot. And then categories for folders. So for instance, this is my social media folder. You can crack it open, it'll load the folder and all the apps in there. And then this is like my geospatial folder, all GPS type based, location based apps that are in there, right? So you can fire up, my coordinates or Google Earth, etc. So I've been using it for a while now. I've had it almost a year, and I absolutely love it, especially the fingerboard on it. So one cool thing I'll show you is you can click on this, for instance, and I can type pretty quick on this, and like the Dow, it says. So maybe my skills aren't as good, but basically it's with my thumbs, and it's the day, the music, yada yada. And you can type pretty quick with the dual thumb method, and so we'll try that out here on the iPad as well. So overall, love it, and of course it's got the 3-megapixel camera on it, and does video recording versus the iPad doesn't have anything like that. So we'll go through some of the features of the iPad actually. So here it is in all its glory, the iPad, and you can see this is just the basic start screen. In fact, here we'll just go from the beginning when you first fire it up, and you got a slide to unlock. There's your basic apps right off the bat. We'll do a little bit of a hardware overview first. So the first thing is this rocker panel on the side for volume, and you can see that's volume up, volume down on the side. This is to lock the rotation. You can see that the screen is spinning as I turn around. Well, if I do that, if I lock it, then it doesn't spin, but if I unlock it, then as I spin around, the screen spins around as well. This one is to turn it off, to turn off the screen. And then you just press the bottom, just like an iPhone. Very, very similar to an iPhone. It's got a speaker port on the bottom, and the speaker is actually quite healthy for what it is. I think the most amazing thing about this, and it's still got that smooth, sexy aluminum backside to it. This is a 16 gig non-3GS version. You can tell the 3GS is because they have a little black strip across the top to allow you to connect to 3G. But if you have a jailbroken iPhone, you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to go ahead and go into a few different apps on here and play around with it. So there's your basic stuff like Google Maps, the App Store, iTunes, YouTube, settings, calendar, and a few others on there. And then on the second page here, so that was the first page, and on the second page you have the Apple iWork suite, so Keynote, which is like PowerPoint. I'll go ahead and fire that up right now. So Keynote's going to fire up, and it's on the 7 Wonders PowerPoint. But basically, you can click through a slide, and if you want to edit something, you just double-click on it, and then just say, I didn't want to say building, I wanted to say, jungle instead. That's what I wanted. I wanted jungle. So you can see it's not as friendly to type on it. I guess the other way you could do it is space the dog and the cats. Yeah, it's all right. It's just I really like that dual thumb thing on the iPhone. So you can go from there and you can grab images. You could stretch them out. Oh, actually, here I think you grab. There you go. You stretch it out or throw it in there. Or if you want to add a new image, you just click on the photo tab, photo library, for instance. Go in here and grab this whatever this picture is of this guy skateboarding and shrink it in there. What's that? Cons?
Cons.
Oh, the cons. Okay, sure. So the big cons over the iPhone is there's no camera on here. That's the number one thing for me. Now they're talking about in the second one there's going to be a front-facing camera, but that's still I don't know, that's subpar to me because I really like a front and a back-facing camera. I want to be able to take pictures with this because there's so many cool photo editing apps on here where you can take your photos, manipulate them, do black and white effects, color in certain things, add different lenses to it. But you got to import them in from your picture library. What I love about my iPhone is I can take a picture of something, edit it, and right there on the fly, you know, here, in fact, here, let me do it. Open it up. In fact, let's go back to that start screen. That's my wife on here, and that's a photo that I edited of her using a few different photo editing applications. So you can open it up, go to image editing, and you can see there's a bunch of image editing tools on here where you can go in and edit the images and add effects to them. And you can get those on here, but how do you get your pictures over here? I've got to import them in and yada yada. I just want everything in one place, and that's what I like about the iPhone is that everything is in one place for me. One more pro about this actually over the iPhone is games. On here, it's a gaming platform versus the iPhone. The iPhone's just so damn small, it's annoying to play games on it sometimes. But this thing, man, it's rocking and rolling. You fire up a game like the HD Racing from Firemint. Intermission. Okay, so it's gone from there, and it's okay. So this version of Real Racing has been created specifically for demonstration purposes. Great, but you can go from there. You can see just the graphics alone are quite amazing on this thing, you know, and you can choose your, you know, start the race. Yeah. Then you can see the graphics on this versus this little screen, which one's more appealing to play on, right? So that's another one. Another con of it is, I mean, it's just, this goes for iPhone and for iPad, and I guess a lot of this is going to be fixed it's supposed to be fixed in OS 4, but there's no multitasking on here. There's a lot of features that are missing, but at the same time, I guess those will be fixed when iPhone iPad OS 4.0 comes out. So that's a quickie review of the iPad and all the cool features of it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.